Well, as Toronto inches closer to the possibility of going from a 47 to a 25 ward councillor race, multiple incumbent councillors could be battling it out for the available seats. It poses an even greater challenges for first-time candidates. The smaller race would mean an uphill battle for those without the name recognition or resources that current councillors have. And for those willing to stick it out, they have just 37 days left to beat the odds in a race that's about to change the rules.
We now are looking at, well, what does this look like? How do we compete against additional candidates? How do we get to know a whole new neighborhood?
Amber Morley's city councillor campaign has been months in the making.
I left my job in January. We started planning.
The former constituency assistant to Councillor John Campbell originally signed up for a race against incumbent Mark Grimes in Ward 6. But under the new 25-ward structure, she'll now face additional opponents, including the school board trustee from a neighboring ward, in a new race that combines Wards 5 and 6.
This entire area becomes Ward 3 at Etobicoke Lakeshore.
It essentially doubles. The result, she and her team have had to reprint materials.
It's outdated now because of all the changes.
Of course, right? And look how many more I have. It's just ridiculous.
And double the area they're canvassing for votes.
And they're completely different communities. I haven't been spending time since May, exposing myself to that community, letting them get to know me as a leader and as a candidate.
Hello. Good to see you.
Across the city, Waleed Kogali Ali is in a similar situation. Today, putting a call out for more volunteers and ramping up his fundraising efforts.
It is going to be difficult and challenging to reach out to as many, almost 100,000 residents in the provincial boundaries.
That's up from the 60,000 voters he'd originally planned for. The well-known community activist was running for the late Pam McConnell's seat, representing St. Jamestown, Regent Park, and Cabbagetown. Now he'll have to expand his campaign to include Moss Park and the Village. But the biggest challenge, these first-timers say, is the number of incumbent candidates they'll now have to face.
I don't know how many incumbents are going to be parachuted into this ward. In the previous sort of boundaries, we had one unelected incumbent, and we might have more than one incumbent running this race.
They have all of that listed information of every resident in the ward. They have name recognition, they have a budget, they have exposure, they have all of the advantage over any other candidate. And so this challenge, and in a short period of time, without notice, without the preparation, it really, in my mind, just makes it impossible for newcomers like myself.
It's the reason some first-time council hopefuls are choosing to withdraw from the race altogether. TDSB trustee Asma Malik was running in the newly created Ward 20. With no incumbent, she had a chance to be another woman of color on council. Currently, there's only one. But this week, she announced she won't be continuing on in a 25-ward race.
If we have only incumbents elected on October 22nd, I don't believe that's progress. And we should do whatever we can to make sure that new voices are around the table so that we could be inclusive but also improve as a city when it pertains to the work that needs to be done to support our communities.
That's why these hopefuls say despite the challenge, they're soldiering on in the hopes that residents will elect some new faces to represent their neighborhoods.
People in this community have been encouraging me to run, have been asking, for change for a long time. And so we're confident, and we knew we were running a winning campaign here.
Now, at the moment, Toronto's municipal election is set for October 22nd, but as you heard earlier, the city clerk has questioned whether it will need to be delayed given the tight timeline left to mail out voter cards with ward information.